Greetings, Judah. DFG here, Gideon Flight. Hey, Judah. Question for you, Israel. Are you feeling sorry for yourself? At this particular time in your walk and your journey in this life, are you feeling sorry for yourself? Because if you are, I want to remind you of something. Did not the book, our book, forewarn us that in the last days that the just, the elect amongst us, would suffer persecution? Did the book not remind us of this fact? If you have been studying the book, then you know absolutely those words were prophesied to us that in the last generation, certain events would happen. It talked about men being lovers of their own selves, talking about the love of many waxing cold, that men would fall after other gods, that they would be practicing every kind of wickedness, that sodomy would be rampant throughout the land. Sodomy, homosexuality. That marriage would be defiled. In other words, it would be a ceremonial ritual that had no substance to it outside of vain glory, but no genuine union where two have come together to become a one strong nation. The essence of marriage. He said that would be a farce. That marriage in that last generation would be just a farce. It would just be a joke. People would literally marry just to be able to put on a ceremonial show so that people can look at them and think that they were important. That they would feel somehow that now, I got a little bit more shine in my life. Only to find out that when you marry due to the laws of the heathens, that shine becomes dark very, very, very fast because there is no substance to it. But all these things were prophesied. Said that women would be in sorrow when they're having their babies. That mothers would be in travail and they would be crying and horrified of the events that are happening to their children. That fathers would be so confused that they would not even understand who they are anymore. They would become effeminized. They would become emasculated. In essence, the children would rule over them, and their women would also rule over them. To be even clearer, they would literally be afraid of their children. And the book is not just talking about your seed, my brothers and my sisters. It's talking about the people within our own nation. We will be horrified of one another. And truth be told, that's going on right now. If you're honest with yourself, most of you, if you go out of your circle of control, your circle of familiarity, into any other community where we exist, you're afraid. You're very apprehensive. You're walking around. You're not sure. If someone comes up to you, your guards go up. See, this is prophecy being fulfilled. We think it's just being cautious. These folks are bad. These folks are, they'll hurt you. They'll kill you. You got to watch your back, man. You can't be taking those. Yes, yes, and yes. You're absolutely right. Yes, you do have to be aware. Yes, you have to protect yourself. Yes, you have to be very, very cautious about where you go. Those are true. But that's also judgment. And that's why the book, again, is so relevant, especially in these last and evil days that we're in. Unfortunately, for most of us, Judah, we're walking in biblical prophecy. We're walking in the end time, predestined order of Elohim. We're walking in it, and most of us have no idea that we are. And how can most of us know? We have no genuine love in our hearts for Elohim. We don't care about what the book says. At best, most of us, I'm talking about as a people, I'm not talking about me, and it's likely I'm not talking about most of you who are listening to me this morning. But most of our people, at best, will do some religious tradition, some religious practice, and then call it a day. What I mean by that, they'll run into one of these, build temples called churches on Sunday or weekdays or whenever. They'll run into one of these build temples on one of the build celebration or festival days, Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, whatever. And they would, and that's about it. If you walk up to them and you bring up Elohim, oh yeah, man, yeah, bro, yeah, man, God is blessing me, man. God bless me. Lying their asses off. How do you know God bless you when you have no relationship with Elohim? I'm only saying God because that's the word they use. We know better. The elect of Elohim, we know that word, G-O-D, is a slanderous word. It's a blasphemous word. It was a word that was used by the fallen ones to create their heroes, their false gods, their idol gods, Gagon, and all of those other gods. That's what they were, G-O-Ds. And most of them really were dogs. They were worshiping dogs, as many of the heathens and Gentiles do today. And some of you Israelites are also involved in that, dog worship. Well, you might say, DFG, what do you mean dog worship? I don't pray to my dog. No, you don't pray to your dog, but you're obsessed with it. You treat it like a human being. It's a beast. It's an animal. Yes, it's a beast. It's an animal. As a matter of fact, it's a filthy animal. A dog eats his own vomit. A dog eats his own shit. A dog has no discretion. My dog is trained. Put him back out of his natural environment. Let's see how trained he truly is. But I digress. But I bring forward this message to you this morning to challenge you to open your eyes and see the times that we're in. The death angel is all throughout the land. And none of the people of Elohim are protected now. Whatever shield and covering that the Ruhuk had put out here, it's been taken away. Paul talked about that, I want to say in 2 Thessalonians. He mentioned that he who will let it, will be taken out of the way, and then the son of perdition. In other words, Satan in his full power will be revealed. What he means by his full power is talking about all of the principalities will reveal themselves. They will start taking over bodies. They will start taking over mindsets. They will start manifesting and procreating within their own selves. And you say, well, let me clarify here. I'm not talking about sex with sex. I'm talking about creating. We've all heard of cloning. We've heard that. And not only is all what they be doing, that Yah said it would be so like us in similitude that we would not even be able to discern them unless we had eyes to really look at the inner workings of their hearts. What I mean by that? Looking at them, how they think, what they do, what's important to them, what they practice. Amen. Yah said there will be so much in similitude to us, my brothers and sisters, that we would not be able to discern them. That it would take the angels of Yah to come in and separate them out. Think about that. It would take the angels of Elohim to separate the weeds from the wheat, or the wheat from the chaff. It's what the book says, or how the book describes it. But he said you would know them by their fruits. You would know them by their behavior. But he said that evil would become so entrenched that if it were possible, even the elite of Elohim, the elite means those who have the passion to serve, those who have the passion to walk it out, those who are full of the spirit of Yah, which we call the Ruach HaKodesh, even us would fall. But Yah being who he is and the merciful Elohim, say, I'm going to shorten the days. Because if I don't shorten the days, then those of you who love me, you're going to fall too. And many of us are grateful to Yah for that. Because we realize too that we are living in a time of such great oppression that it's hard to just focus, on our purpose. Because the enemy constantly throws distractions out there to us. Constantly. If you're not studying in the book, my sisters and brothers, you know what I'm talking. If you're not studying the book, and you don't wake up and you don't look for the word in the morning, and you're not looking for a word in the mid morning, and a word at midday, and a word at mid afternoon, and evening and night, you are tormented. And that torment sometimes looks like a pleasurable thing. I can't wait till the weekend so I can go and do this. I can't wait for my vacation so I can go and do this. But that's torment. But see, it's disguising itself as, no, it's not torment. I'm just looking forward. No, it's torment. It's torment. Think about it. It's torment. Because that's not peace. See, peace should be where you can just sit at any point in time in silence and in reflection. And if you love Elohim with all your heart, your mind, and spirit, think about him, his grace, his mercy, his goodness, and what purpose he has for you. Not in your life. Let me be clear. Because that's religion. I want to know what purpose he has for my life. No, you need to understand what purpose he has for you this day. Today is the day. Now is the time. Elohim said, when you hear my voice, harden not your heart. See, religion tells us, well, he's got a plan for me, and I want to walk out his plan. That's deception. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us, my sisters and my brothers. What are you doing today? Again, when you wake up in the morning and you go get your coffee, or you wake up in the morning, you go get your breakfast, you wake up in the morning, you get your kids ready for school, or whatever you do to prepare yourself. See, that's your consistent behavior, right? That's what you do because those things are necessary and important to you. Where is Elohim? Where's your relationship with Elohim? Where's your focus on Elohim in comparison? Because surely if the things of the world mean more to you than the things of Elohim, then you're none of his. Or Satan has entered in like the thief and the robber inside of your temple, your house, and he's about to set you up to be destroyed. Again, this is why the book is so important to us. And this, again, why so many of us are walking in, I'm going to use this word spirit because I think some of you guys will understand it better when I use that word. It's not my intention, and my sisters and brothers, in the way I truly understand that these are terms of the heathens, some of these terms. But for the sake of the unlearned, I'll use some of these words. But your spirits are in a state of constant depression, a constant worry, of constant, projection out. What if? I think maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, maybe, And Yah's saying, you fool. Have you not understood the scripture? Have you not understood the word that man should always be prayerful and never faint or stop? That man should write my commandments on his doorpost and his bedpost when he's coming out of his house, when he's going in there. In essence, he said, your whole environment should be a dedication for your love and your need, your reverence of Yah. Your whole environment. Because in these evil days and time, the enemy, like a wolf or a lion, is sitting at your door, in your home, maybe in your bed, on your job, and he's slowly but surely sniffing you out. You know how a predator, when it's about to eat its prey, it starts to sniff it. That's what's happening with many of you all. Because you have walked away, or you've never come to the fullness of what Yah has said to you. He said, my sheep hear my voice. A strange voice they should not follow. What does that mean? That means we don't get distracted by the things of the world. We don't become a part of the issues of this life. We don't. That's what he's saying. That when the world goes to the right, then we stand still. We don't go to the left. Because some people say, well, the world go to the right, I go. No. You hold your position. You're not swayed either way. That's wavering mindedness. Today I'm left, tomorrow I'm right. Today I'm good, tomorrow I'm bad. No. That is a mind of torment. The Rahook gets inside of you, my sisters and my brothers, and it strengthens your resolve to stand. What did one of the brothers say over, in one of the letters after you've done all to stand? Stand? That's how he says. He said, when you've done everything in your power to take that stand, and you think you've done enough, Y'all said, no, not enough. Keep standing. When you've taken every blow that the enemy has given you, say, get up, put your hands up. If necessary, throw blows back. And if you're tough enough, withstand the blows by using all of the knowledge and the wisdom of the Rahook to wipe it out. Clean your mind. You can't clean your mind with the issues of life, my sisters and my brothers. The enemy is on the offensive. And I'm talking about in a strong, strong way. He's using the television. He's using the radio. Right? He's using your governmental officials. He's using your friends. He's using your children. He's using your spouses. He's coming in every kind of way at you to dissuade you and to pull you away and to keep you preoccupied so he can come in again and build up a resistance inside of your heart, inside of your mind, so that your discerning or your ability to know the difference between good and evil is pretty much neutralized. Therefore, you have no discernment, and you will consistently walk into every snare, every trap that's laid before you. This is the book. The book forewarns us that in these last and evil days, perilous times would come. Men will be lovers of their own selves. Women would forget their true purpose in life. Men will become like women. Literally, like women. You see it already with the transvestites and the morphine hormones and different things. Men putting on makeup now. Men arching their eyebrows. And men, you know what I'm saying, just pretty much, dressing, putting on dresses. Have you seen it? Singing and twisting and dancing like females. Competing with the female to be most feminine. And women on the other side of it, in total confusion, competing against the men to be more masculine. Of course, you call it feminism. You call it liberation. You call it freedom. But Yah call it wicked. Yah calls it wicked. Now, brothers and sisters, time is up. I'm telling you. You know, I was talking with some brothers yesterday in the workplace. You see, a man of Yah, you know, we do the work of Elohim, and then we also work. We don't go around fleecing the flock. No, we work with our hands. We have jobs, or we're employed, or we employ ourselves. We don't sit around and wait for someone else to take care of us, including the hearers of the word of Elohim. That's not scripture. Oh, Paul talked about it in one of his letters. If you feed on the word, then I should feed on your resources. Look, guys, it's all about precepts. When these lying devils start telling you this, you had better know the word, or you'll end up giving them all of your resources. The book says it's a foolish poor man who gives his money to the rich. In other words, Yah said, if someone has more than you, you are a damn fool to give them your resources. This is the book. But that's a lie that they tell also, to enrich themselves for the word's sake. That is wicked personified. And most of you are foolish enough to fall into it because you have no ability to discern what Yah is saying to you, because you refuse to study. Or you study through programmed religion. Instead of, coming before Yah morning, noon, and night, asking him to reveal the truth to you. And taking no man's word for anything. Letting the book establish the truth. And because you refuse to do it, my sisters, many of you, my brothers, many of you, religion has pretty much taken you down the path of the wicked. You're just as evil and corrupted as the unbelievers are. And you do what they do, but you put, it's almost like, your car is just as old as their car, but you put a little armor all on the tires, and you take it over to the car wash, and then you come back, and then you brag about, look at your car. Well, your car is clean, but it's still the same car. On the inside, it's the same thing. On the outside, it looks better. See, that's what religion does for you. It makes you look right on the outside. But on the inside, you're just as wicked as they are. So you run into these churches and you run into these festivals and these holidays, but there's no difference between you and the heathen, you and the Gentile, other than for appearance sake. But once they take that makeup off, those masks off, and begin to see you for who you really, 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 really are, they realize there's no love for Elohim in you. You only care about yourself and yourself. You won't do anything for anybody. You will not sacrifice for anybody. And this is what me and the brothers were talking about yesterday. How wicked we have fallen. We have fallen so far away that now there's a murdering spirit in our land. Remember the death angel that came, to Egypt in the very last days of our first captivity? You remember the death angel that killed all the firstborn of the heathens and the firstborn of Israel who were not under the protection of the blood? You remember they had to put the blood over the doorpost so that the angel would recognize, no, these people are the people of the Most High, spare them. And even the stranger went into those doors with the people of Elohim, and they were spared. That's why I say some of the strangers, you might make it, but you're only going to make it if you come with the people. But if you're over there in religion and in your privilege, your ass is going to die like the rest of your devil relatives. I'm just telling you. Take it or leave it. You'll believe it. But I bring this message to us this morning. So again, if you're in torment or if you're feeling persecuted, understand the ancient ones, the prophets, the believers, our forefathers, all went through these things and right before judgment was passed. And what I mean by judgment, I'm talking about final judgment. When Noah warned them that these things were going to happen, it got hot, it got tough, and then it happened. All throughout the history of our people, right before judgment, things got as bad as they could possibly. In the days of Isaiah, it was so bad that our people were eating their own children for starvation. It hadn't rained for 3 years. Nothing would grow. And the people became cannibals. Our people became cannibals. And then Yah went to Isaiah and said, okay, enough is enough. Now you go down there and you get rid of these idolaters. And you get rid of this whore Jezebel who's manipulating Ahab, the man who's supposed to be leading my people, who has lost his way because now he's become effeminized. He's more focused on what Jezebel has to say than keeping the law, statutes, and commandment so that the people might be restored. So Yah sent one man, Elijah, to go out and fight all those prophets of Baal and destroy their wicked asses. And then he destroyed the whore Jezebel. Judgment is in the land, my brothers and sisters. The death angel, as it was then, it is now. There's no such thing. The scriptures say Yah, the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. I am Elohim, I change not, is the book. So what happened in the past is going to happen in the present, and it's going to happen in the very near future. Sisters and brothers, if you're listening to my voice right now, it is time to stop in your tracks and reconsider. And you had better reconsider deep inside of you. You had better look deep in your heart. We all have to do it. I have to do it. We all have to do it. You had better look deep in your heart and ask Yah to cleanse you. Cleanse you of anything that's unpleasant before him. Because if he doesn't cleanse you now, you're not going to be cleansed at judgment. It's going to be too late. When he pulls this thing down, when he destroys this earth, and I mean he's going to destroy it with fire and every kind of disease and plague. He said it. You had better be ready. You had better already be prepared. Well, see, when that flood came, Noah and his family, they were already in the ark. Think about it. Just as our sisters and brothers in the Exodus, they were already in those homes and had the blood over their doors. They were already in a safe place. They were already, again, in a safe place. Noah and his family already in a safe place. Are you in a safe place? This is the question you have to ask yourself, my brothers and my sisters. Right now, are you in a safe place? If Yah came down today, and the day is that day, that final day, he said, no man know it, it's going to come like a thief in the night. Are you already in the safe place? Because if you're not, you are going to die in your sins. What are sins? Unrighteousness. Anything that's not lined up with the word of Elohim is sin, my brothers and sisters. And many of you don't even know it. Many of you are committing some of the most, what words I want to use? Many of you are committing some of the most wicked, it'll come to me, the word I'm looking for. But you are in such a wicked and horrible place, and you don't even know it. Because there's no judgment in your land. There's no one around you to judge it. Therefore, you're doing whatever comes to your mind. Whatever comes to your imagination, you're doing it, and you have there is no scale for you to determine, hey, is this okay for me to be doing this? Many of you are in that state. And therefore, you're committing every kind of abomination known to man. Many of you have embraced this lying, 21st century culture of homosexuality. Well, people can love what they want to love, and what's wrong with that? They're not hurting anybody. They're some of the finest people. Son, daughter, brother, sister. Did you know that those who love the world or the things of the world or the laws of this world are enemies of Yah? Do you know that the book says no sodomite will enter into the kingdom of Elohim? None. Not effeminate, not emasculated for you brothers. I ain't no homosexual. Yeah, but you got a lot of homosexual tendencies. First of all, do you take care of your family? Do you take care of your children? Do you work every day? Do you pray? Are you the priest in your home? I'm going to ask you again. Do you take care of your family? Do you take care of your children? Do you pray? Are you the high priest of your home? And if those four things are not a part of your everyday experience, then you're effeminate. You're emasculated. You are a spiritual homosexual. You're seeking someone else to fulfill your responsibility, which makes you effeminate, which gives you a female spirit. The female is the one who's supposed to be protected and provided for, not you, you walking devil. You're deceiving yourself. And you think that somehow running into your churches or your position as a pastor or an elder or whatever the hell you call yourself in Baal's temples is going to get you a free pass into eternity and sitting before Yah. And you are a liar. It is not going to happen. You are deceived. Your brain, your mind, it is reprobated. You're in a black hole, brother. You're in a black hole, and you're going to die in that wickedness. And you will be judged. It is time for you to come out. It is time for you to come out. You had better wake up. And you sisters, again, you know, this whore spirit that's in many of you, and it's a spirit of whoredom. You're just like Jezebel. You want to tell the men what to do. You want to use your body, your physical appearance, and your additions to your physical appearance to seduce so that you can control. Or seduce so that you can have influence. That's a Jezebel spirit. That's exactly what the whore Jezebel did to destroy a whole nation of people. And she was judged for that. Oh yeah, she had her little run. She had her fun. She talked a lot of shit, by the way. Yeah, she told Ahab, "Oh, you upset about he don't want to give you the land? Then tell you what, let me write this thing up for you. Let me give you a little something. Let me help you out here. Let me be your helpmate. Here's how you can manipulate the situation, and that way you can get what you want." She was wicked. And when her day came, and her day did come, Yah had her own helpers, the people in her so-called friends, her so-called religious people, throw her ass off of a balcony, broke her wicked neck, and the dogs ate her ass up. They even licked her blood off the ground. So keep it up, Miss Superwoman. I don't need no man. Nobody can tell me what to do. I'm my own woman. All true. True, 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 true. Whatever you say, whatever man's thinking in his heart, so is he. You are right. But I'm going to tell you something. There's a way that seems right to a man, but this book says it's the ways of death. In other words, it's going to lead your behind to a grave, a fiery grave, where you will never, ever have a chance to fix all the damage that you have done. You say, what damage I did? Spiritual damage. You are influencing little girls. You are influencing young men. You are influencing your co-workers. You are persuading women to follow after your ways. No, I'm not. They're making their own mind up. Nah, you are light to them. No, you're glorifying this wickedness, and they're looking at you justifying because you're doing it. They're doing it. Or I guess you could even say it because they're doing it. You're doing it. So you're influencing it. And you're going to be judged for it. And see, these words that you're speaking, you better be careful with. Because, you know, a lot of you sisters, you got a flip mouth. You know, you're quick to say some shit. irresponsible talking. And Yah said, for every word that you speak, see, when you die, sister, and you go before Yah, and you will go before Yah, he says, every single word that you speak, you're not going to be able to take it back, and you're not going to be able to run from it. He said, I'm going to replay it right in front of you, and I'm going to let you hear all of the viciousness that was in your heart when those words came out of your mouth. Although you said, no, that's not, it's not bad. It's you don't understand. Yah knows your heart. You can't hide. You can hide from men. You can't hide from Elohim. And again, sisters, there's a lot of horrible things in this book says that's going to come your way. It's already happening. I mean, we saw it a couple of, 16-year-old. I'm not in the politics of, so much of I can't believe they killed her. Why wouldn't I believe they slaughtered? They were hanging our men and women for centuries on this soil. For centuries, they were hanging and burning our men and women alive. Why are you so shocked now that they killed a 16-year-old girl, shot her? Why are you shocked? Because you're ignorant. Because, again, you're being manipulated. You're being seduced by these doctrines of devils. You're letting these so-called democratic devils, these religious, civil, political devils, dictate to you what you think. These wicked attorneys, whatever. These Black Lives Matter, you look at all of this evil manipulate you into believing a lie, as though this is some phenomenon. It's not a phenomenon for us to be slaughtered on this planet, on this soil. This soil is full of the blood of the Hebrew Israelite, or the Israelite, however you want to say it, the so-called Negro, so-called Native American, the so-called Hispanic. This country is full of the blood. They've been slaughtering, raping, killing, maiming. What are you talking about? Sometimes you have to step back, my sisters and my brothers, and ask for clarity. That's why you cannot be consumed with the issues of this world, the cares of this world. You will never be able to come into your full knowledge of what is truth. And you become a walking lie, and then you buy into all the lies. Killing of our people is not a new thing. Killing of our people is not a phenomenon. This is natural to the enemy of the people. And unfortunately, it has become natural to many of us. The killing of our own people. The breaking up of our own families. The tearing down of our own communities. Many of our people, show you how reprobated our brains are, my brothers and sisters. Go into the urban areas. Any urban area around America where our people are, unfortunately. Through the curse and judgment because of our actions towards Elohim, he's allowed the enemy to continue to intensify his hatred towards us. But you go into any of these communities, and they're some of the most filthy communities you've ever seen. And you know what's really sad about it? Our people will walk right by trash, right in front of their door. Walk by trash right in front of their sidewalk. They will throw trash in the streets in their own community. But see, if they go up in the suburbs, and they go into these other areas where the enemy resides, they wouldn't dream of throwing trash on the ground. They wouldn't dream of doing anything that would interrupt the tranquility of the heathens. But in your own communities, you won't even pick up trash. Think about that. What kind of mind that you would have to live in a trash dumpster? A place where people throw garbage and it doesn't even bother you anymore. That's called reprobated. Think about it. If you can live among trash, you have a trashy mentality. Can I take it up one more level? Go into some of the homes of these Hebrews. Go look in their bathrooms and go look in the kitchen. Look in their bedrooms. Look anywhere. Filthy. They're bringing up children in filth and trash and garbage. They don't even have their children bathing. They don't clean them. They don't wash them. They don't do anything. And they absolutely do not bring forth the word of Yah to them. And then they ask the question, why are my children dying? Why are these heathens murdering our children in the street? Because you did not teach them in the home. That's why. Now, your preacher might not tell you that. Your lover may not tell you that. Your best girlfriend, your best boyfriend may not tell you. So DFG got to tell you. Your children are getting slaughtered because you didn't do your job of training them up in the ways and the knowledge of Yah when they were little children. The book says you were responsible. And you fathers, I'm going to say it to you one more time. Any of your children that die in these streets because you didn't train them up with the word, their blood is on your hands. You heard me what I said, brothers, so-called, because you can't be a brother of mine and hate your own kind. But we may share the same blood. I'm not just talking about blood brothers. I'm talking about the people of Elohim. If you didn't train your children and your children turn out to be homosexuals and lesbians and kill their babies through abortion clinics and become liars and thieves and lazy and won't work and won't clean up behind themselves, won't worship Yah, won't study the book, that blood is on you. You are responsible for it. And Yah is going to judge you for it. You are going to die in hell. You say, well, DFG, wait a minute now. I didn't know the truth at that time. Well, you know the truth now. What are you doing about it? Well, my sons are grown now. Well, you better go find somebody else in your neighborhood and you better make amends. You better go do it for a widow. You better go do it for a fatherless in your community. You better go find. And I'm not talking about in these boys clubs and these gyms where you go over there and playing basketball and you become the new coach. Hell no. Go in there with a book. Sit down and teach them the word of Yah. That is the only hope you have. Because a lot of you little slicksters, well, I'm working in my community and I'm helping young men in my community to do what? So that they can have a trade or a skill. To do what? To lust after the things of the world? The book says train them up in the ways of Yah. The book says train them up in the knowledge and the ways of Elohim. He never told you train them up in the ways of this world so that they can have the riches of this world. The riches of this world is going to pass away, my brother. Did not Yeshua tell us, don't focus on things that are built with the hands of man, will rust and corrupt, tear down, or thieves break in and steal? Did he not tell you that? Wait. Oh, of course you don't know that. Because you haven't spent time teaching it, so how could you know it? Oh, you were caught up in religion. Who told you you can do whatever you want to do? Just go to church and do confession. If you practice this wicked bill worship called Catholicism, just go every Sunday or every Saturday or whatever and go before these pedophile priests and they will forgive you for another week. Or if you're in these hellhole Protestant churches, well, it's by grace you're saved and not of your own. It's a gift of Elohim. Therefore, do whatever the hell you want to do. And yeah, you're going to die in your sins. You think the law, statutes, and the commandments of Yah were written to waste your time or to waste his time? You think Yah had nothing better to do than to just sit down and put these disciplines in place and never expected you to follow? You have to know better. You have to know better than that. And you sisters, I'm going to say it to you again. Just because I have called your men to the carpet for their wickedness, their abominable behaviors, you are without an excuse. Because 9 times out of 10, you allowed all these things to happen. You said nothing. You just grabbed them and ran them into a church and thinking if I just sit them in the church and set them before these half-gay choir directors and these fully gay bisexual preachers and teachers that would be enough. You are a lie. You believe the lie, you're walking in a lie, and you're still lying. So you're complicit. Now let me bring this message to a close. Although what I'm sharing for some of you may seem hopeless, I'm going to say to you clearly, it's not hopeless for you. You can do something about it. You mothers with new babies, what are you going to do? My question for you, what are you going to do? Are you going to train your son or your daughter up in the way of Elohim? Are you going to find a covering, a man of Elohim to teach you until you can teach your children? That Yah may, and also that Yah may bless you if he doesn't come sooner than later for you. Come for you sooner or later. That Yah may send you a covering, someone to love and care for you and your children. I'm talking about a righteous man. A man who loves Elohim. A man who's going to sit down with you and study the book. He's going to sit down with you. He ain't going to work for no service. He's going to come, or whatever this shit they do in this world. He's going to say, hey, let's sit down and read the book. He's going to be such an inspiration to you that you're going to come to him and say, hey, can we read the book together? Hey, let's study the book. Let's go study the book of Esther together. And you'll have the beautiful opportunity to sit before a man of Elohim, and he will teach and break down the book for you. Think about the beauty of that, my sister. Having a man who will sit down with you and have a Bible study just with you and help you to see yourself in the Word. To help you see how Yah loves you through the Word. Do you understand the blessing that would be, my sister? That will never happen if you don't stop in your tracks and turn around from your wicked ways. Clean yourself up. Seek Yah. Ask him, bring this to me. And get out of this too. Well, Yah, I want to marry. Yah ain't marrying you. There's no marrying in heaven. You don't know the word. He said in heaven there is no marrying. They don't marry and give in marriage in the kingdom of Elohim. Yah's not marrying you. It's a metaphor when he calls you the bride. It's just simply saying you're part of his family. You should be under his protection. That's what he means. And when you fall from under his protection, you're an adulterer. That's what he's mean when you're worshiping religion or you are worshiping idolatry or idols. He's just saying. He's not married to you. And he's not going to marry you. They don't marry. Man is here to marry you. Man is here to marry you. And Yah will never send one of his men to a Jezebel. If you want a man of Elohim, then you had better figure out how to cleanse yourself, open yourself up to receive the word, to walk in humility. Go back home and spend time with your own children and teach them and raise them up. Clean them up, clean up your house, wash your clothes, wash your children. Amen. Wash your ass yourself. Excuse me, I mean to say that. But the Bible said that some of you sisters, you got some problems down there. Because you're sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, as they say. It's like, you get finished with one, you get another one. And you know it. You better clean it up down there too. And you better keep it clean when y'all clean it. You're supposed to be with one man, period. One. And you brothers running around here, laying down with all of these whores. My mother had an old saying. She said, if you lay down with dogs, you come up with fleas. And many of you are laying down with these female dogs because you're nothing but a vicious wolf yourself. Only a dog wants to lay around with any dog. Huh? Yeah, let me say it to you again. Only a dog would want to lay around with any dog. Only a doggish man would want to lay around with whorish women. What's a whorish woman? A woman who will lay with one man to the next man. She may not do it all at the same time. She'll just get rid of one and bring in another. Get rid of that one, bring in another. Get rid of that one, bring in another. That's what whoredom looks like. Sisters, in case you didn't know. But brothers, this is what you better know. And there's no whore that's going to be assigned to a man of Elohim unless that whore has repented and changed her ways. Otherwise, Yah said don't even consider doing anything with them. They'll corrupt you and turn you like they turned Solomon away from Elohim. Now this message is again for those of you who are weary in mind. Yes, there is hope, but you will be persecuted. It's what the word says. But he said count it joy when you're persecuted righteously. In other words, they're persecuting you because you're standing for the word. They're persecuting you because you're speaking the word. They're persecuting you because you don't want to be like them, or you change your ways and you're no longer like them. See, that is a righteous persecution. Now you're going to be you're being persecuted for his name's sake, for the covering's sake, for the people's sake. Because Yah says, look, I'm going to judge their wicked asses. But they're going to be without excuse because they had you to tell them. I put in you to warn them, and they didn't listen. So now they are without excuse. Oh yeah. This brings back to mind the rich man and Lazarus and Abraham. Remember when the rich man was in hell and he came out of hell for just a moment? He was saying, can you put a little water on my tongue? Because I'm going to tell you something. A lot of you guys, the minute you drop dead right now, you're going to hell. You're going to burn in the fiery fire. Your ass is going to burn. Men, women, your children are going to burn because you're wicked. You're going straight to hell. The book gives us example after example of this. So this rich man comes out of hell, and he's burning so bad, he said, can you put a little drop of water on my tongue? And Abraham said, we can't. It's a gulf between you and us. We can't do nothing for you. You're condemned. He said, well, nothing else, let me go tell my brothers and warn them. Yah said, Abraham, through the voice of Yah, in this instance, in the book of Luke, in the gospel of Basura of Luke, this is Luke. This is Abraham, how you would say, translating the word of Elohim, bringing it back to the condemned and saying, look, it's too late for you, for sure. And as far as they're concerned, because he actually, well, let me come back from the dead, go tell you, he said, no. They have the prophets and they have the messengers. And if they don't listen to the prophets and the messengers, then they will join your ass in hell. That's exactly what he told that man. And that's what I'm telling you, what Yah is telling us. You had better stop right now and reconsider. Because at the end of the day, you are going to die. All of us are going to meet Elohim. We all are going to be at his throne. And I'm going to say one more thing to you, my brothers and sisters. I'm running late now. Praise Yah. This world can wait. But tonight, Yah willing, I still have breath in my body and clarity of mind. I'm going to come back and I'm going to link this up. I'm going to read from the book of John, starting at chapter 6, verse 21. And I'm going to give you a precept in the book of Enoch, chapter 62. So some of you guys, you might get ahead of me. And that's a beautiful thing, because that shows me that you're taking these words and you're taking what I'm saying seriously. You want your soul. You understand your soul is at risk in these last evil days. So I hope that you get ahead of me. But we're going to look at the book of Enoch, chapter 62, and then we're going to look at the Basura of John, the world called gospel, chapter 6. And we're going to precept to show you the validation of Enoch. And Enoch talks about the fallen ones, the angels that sinned and had sex with women and created these demon spirits all over the land that many of you are dealing with right now. These same demons who are persecuting you, who are causing you torment. We're going to talk about that tonight, Yah willing. So you definitely want to join me if Yah wills. But that said, I hope that these words are like a sword that cuts away from your rebellious heart. And there's nothing wrong. Don't feel offended because we all had a rebellious heart. I had a rebellious heart. Sometimes my heart still gets rebellious. But by the grace of Yah, I fight back. I don't surrender to it. And neither should you, my sisters and brothers. But I will tell you this. I wake up in the morning with Yah on my mind. Throughout the day, I seek Yah. I go to bed with Yah on my mind. And obviously, you follow this channel, you know that's a fact. But it's not just when I sit before you. When you don't see me, when I'm here all by my lone self, I'm still listening and learning and hearing and seeking Yah and fighting off these demons. Fighting them off with everything in my power. I'm not going to, every now and then, they'll get me for an hour or two, maybe a day or two. But then by just because standing and doing all I can do to stand, I get by it. I get through it. And I'm the better man for it. And, I'll say this. Maybe Elohim wants me to say it, so I'm going to say it. When my sons were young, I taught my sons. I conducted Bible studies with my sons. I sat down with my sons, whether it was, we were still in the heathen system, unfortunately. Y'all took us out of praise y'all. But I would go to these wicked ass churches and listen to these preachers talk their big old beautiful sermons. And I could tell my child was sitting right next to me, not paying attention, not getting anything out of what these devils were saying, because I wasn't getting anything out of it. So when we would leave those temples of Baal and we'd get home, sometimes we would just sit in my automobile and I would say, hey, let's go back over what was said today in that place. And then I would become their teacher, their priest. And then there were other times, on certain nights of the week, we sit down and we'll study. There are times we would go in the garage and I would teach Bibles. I would even have my own little sermons in the garage. So I'm not talking about something that I have not practiced. And if I've had my trials and tribulations like you are having your trials and tribulations. But I do know one thing. I'm a very healthy man. I'm in my right mind. I'm still able to provide for those that I'm responsible for providing for. I'm still able to teach young men. I'm still out here making a difference with our people in this heathen society, in this heathen system called work, and still a walking example. All through the grace of Elohim, because I loved Elohim, I love Elohim, I will always love Elohim, and Elohim has loved me back by giving me a passion to love this, to love you, to love out to you, by opening up his word and bringing to you, hey, this is your time. Now is the time. Today is the day. The book says, when you hear my voice, don't harden your heart. Sisters, don't harden your heart. Brothers, don't harden your heart. Seek you first the kingdom of Elohim and his righteousness, laws, statutes, commandments. And all the things that you have need of, Elohim said, he will provide it. I'm a living witness. That's the truth. That's my point. DFG, may Yah bless you. May Yah keep you on this day. And I pray for me too, you who are right in your heart. I don't want the sinner's prayer. Do not, if you're not walking and living this, do not, Yah don't hear you. Sorry, he doesn't hear your prayers. Don't waste your time. But for you believers out there who love Elohim, I'm your brother. Pray for me today that Yah will get us back together tonight and that he will give us more truth, matching up precepts, all right, for edification. Love you guys. DFG. Talk to you later. Bye now.